Robin.
You're listening to Opie and Anthony. Opie and Anthony. On the virus. Sirius-XM.
My shoulder holster.
I
Yeah.
didn't want to wear that shoulder holster. It was too tight. You know what? The pants didn't match my jacket. And they were too tight. I had a T-shirt on. So when you tucked it in, it was way too tight in the waist. And I didn't want to wear that holster because it was very confining. But it was the outfit, and it was Quentin's idea. He told everybody to show up on the set with black suits on, and I didn't even have one. So my pants and the jacket don't match. If you look at Buscemi, he's got black jeans on. And he didn't have one either.
What the fuck?
The only thing we got from wardrobe, we got the ties from wardrobe.
The ties, the thin ties, yeah.
And I was supposed to wear black shoes, and I didn't have any black dress shoes. I had black cowboy boots. And that's why I'm wearing them in the movie.
That almost makes sense, though, for the character. You seem like the kind of guy that would wear black cowboy boots.
That's all I had. And then when I got the razor, I figured, okay, where am I going to put this thing?
The boot.
Where I put it in my fucking pocket? Well, yeah, it just seemed to make sense to put it in the boot. But a lot of things happened that were not in the screenplay. And thank God Quentin was decent enough to let me get away with a lot of stuff.
The dance, was that something that he asked you to do, or you just kind of knew to talk into the air and dance?
Well, I'm no dancer, and I tried to explain that to him. But in the thing, it said, Mr. Blonde maniacally dances around the manacled cop. And I always remember that. And, you know, I was always questioning, well, what do you mean maniacally? You know, you're supposed to be all handcuffed, and then it turned into duct tape, of course, but we never really rehearsed that. We rehearsed the whole movie for like a week, maybe a week and a half before we were shooting. And every time we got to that scene, I just said, listen, I don't want to rehearse it because I don't know what I'm going to do. Mm-hmm. And thank God Quentin didn't force me to do it because he obviously knew that I didn't know what I was going to do. And I kept saying, I'll do it on the day.
Yeah.
When we're actually going to do it, I'll figure out what to do because I'm good if I'm backed into a corner. And I said, listen, I don't know what I'm going to do. And I really didn't. And then when they finally shot it, we did like 4 versions of it. And the music was supposed to be Barroom Blitz by the Blasters.
Oh, really?
Because he didn't have the rights to the Steelers Wheel. And so I did it to Steelers because I knew that was the one he wanted. So, and the talking thing.
It's very subtle.
The
little dance is very subtle.
It's very understated. It's great.
Yeah. It's a subtle little move.
I suddenly had to do something, and then I had the damn ear in my hand, and when I was supposed to walk out of frame, but then actually he picked me up coming in the frame, and I was holding it, and you know, it's funny when you watch yourself because you see things that other people don't see, but I see myself thinking because I was thinking, what am I going to do?
Oh, really? What am I going to do with it? So,
and he was going, throw it, toss it. And I didn't really want to do that.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, can you hear me? I thought it was in ear, right?
Yeah,
so
hey, can you hear me?
And then I threw it after that.
But the dance is great because it really is. That's the way a sociopath who can't dance would dance.
Absolutely.
There's a little spin, a little backwalk.
They're not good moves. That's just what you do. You're massacring a man.
Fucking lunatic.
Yeah, it was time to get the razor out, though, because I wanted to stop dancing.
Yeah.
The perfect way to stop the dance
The song is just synonymous with this scene now. I think anytime you hear that.
I'm like an animal. Oh.
It's brutal.
No, I told him, I said, Kirk, I'm going to jump on you like an animal. See? There was no other way to do it except mount him. It just, I realized you had to. I mean, imagine, it wouldn't be easy to.
So now you're hashing this out in your head?
Yeah, and Quentin's going, throw it. See, I didn't want to. I just didn't really.
You just turn around like.
It's like 3.
And then you laugh at him.
It's like 3 days later, he goes, you remember when you talked in the air? And I go, yeah. And he goes, it's in the movie. And I had never really thought that it wasn't going to be. So it's kind of another lesson for me. Cause I wasn't in control as much as I.
And then when
Then when he goes outside, we were talking about this earlier. It's fucking amazing.
But what's great too is that when he holds the ear, and he fucking throws it, then you look at your hand annoyed that there's blood on it, and you almost wipe it on his shirt accusingly, like you're an asshole.
Well, it's movie blood. It's very sticky.
and there's the car you could own.
Well, you see me trying to get my keys out of my pocket. My hand was all sticky from the blood. And the fucking keys were like stuck in my pocket by the third time we did it. Poor Kirk was, later.
He was covered in it. Yeah.
He
Now, was your character supposed to have just had a can of gasoline for emergencies, or did you specifically get it to burn this guy up?
No, I went to get it for that purpose.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that would make sense.
I tried to explain to Quentin that if in fact I had set him up, if I blazed him up, can you imagine the horror of him burning in flames at the same time I'm being shot by Mr. Orange? Now that would have been pretty powerful.
Yeah, no shit.
That torched him, and oh my God. See, I think that would have been a lot more disturbing than the way that it actually is. But I think he was pretty fed up at my suggestions.
At that point, he had it with you?
Yeah, he had, because every day I had something new. So I made all this up, man. This was just me. That's apple juice, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
More
It's the same color as gasoline.
Oh, hey.
Jesus.
Handy to know.
Learn something.
Great. See, I'm going to throw the can now. I'm going to get rid of it.
What's the matter?
Don't do this! Please!
That burn a little bit?
Burn a little bit. What a prick.
Oh, God.
On his fucking cut ear?
You sure don't like police officers in this.
Well, oddly enough, I've got a lot of cops who have been very nice to me
Yeah.
through the years after this, and I've always found it perplexing.
Perplexing indeed.
I was in Dallas, Texas, and I went to see the chief of police, and he had a Mr. Blonde poster in his office.
Oh, shit. Go through.
Done. See, I can imagine if I would have dropped it.
And there you go.
That is Tim's big moment, but you see his gun is empty. See?
Yeah.
And he goes like this again, even though there's no bullets left, which was kind of over dramatic, I thought.
Yeah, it was a little over
And then
dramatic.
he drops the clip, and now he's going to go like this again because he didn't know what else to do. See,
It's
he's delirious from bleeding. It's so great. All right,
Funny.
all right, Tim. You've had your moment. Just
Hilarious.
lay down. Okay. I actually wanted to have the Zippo in my hand still lit. When Chris Penn comes in and he sees me on the floor, I wanted to have the Zippo still going. I wanted Chris to lean over and blow it out. But Quentin was like, he was so angry at me at that point. He's just like, no, we're not going to do it that way. I was like, okay, man.
There must have been some great discussions between
I
the
love
two
the
of you.
breakdown of the scene.
I
But what's
know.
great too is the horrible
Awesome.
strategy to actually, you're trying to hide out in that place to actually burn the cop alive. Like that wouldn't draw attention to the hiding spots. You're waiting for fucking Joe to get rid of the loot.
Where's Joe at that? Well, I don't care, but in the meantime, I'm going to start a fire.
Yeah, and burn a cop alive.
just
That won't
because
cause
I
any
want
noise.
to, because I have
5 gallons of gasoline in the middle of a wooden warehouse.
I'm angry.
Not even trying to help the guy that shot. You're too busy setting the guy on fire. You were a horrible guy to work with.
I didn't write it.
That was
man.
great.
You're hysterical. I do like the breakdown
But
of
it's
it.
amazing is like the stuff that made the scene so interesting, like the stuff that was so fucking great about it was just kind of, he just let him do what he wanted to do, which
Yeah,
is great.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, he did the same thing in Kill Bill, pretty much.
Oh, you really?
He didn't want me to wear that hat. And he didn't want me to have long hair. And didn't want me to wear that white cowboy hat.
But then you can't imagine it being another way.
Any differently.
Well, I'd been in Mexico making a Western, and I got that Stetson in Durango, and I was wearing it to the...
They have Halloween shops in Mexico?
I had that. That was a real Stetson. And I kept wearing it to the read-throughs, and...
Yeah, that's a
there it
good
is.
look.
And Quentin says to me, You're not going to wear that hat in the movie. And I said, well, yes, I am. You know? And he goes, no, you're not. You're going to cut your hair. And I go, no, I don't think so. And so we had this little kind of silent war going on. And I think by the third read-through, I had become concerned about Uma because she would not make eye contact with me. And I went to Quentin and I said, listen, what's the deal with Uma? I said, you know, we got to do this thing together. And I got to have, you know, doesn't seem like she wants to communicate with me. I'm a little concerned. And he goes, no, it's just the way she is. And when it comes down to it, she's going to be there and she'll be good. And I said, all right, you know, and I was leaving and he goes, oh, yeah. And I go, what? And he goes, you know, now I can't picture you without the hat. And I can't picture you without the hair. So we're going to do it. And I said, oh, well, okay. But then after about a week of shooting, I did the stuff with David at the trailer. And then we're out in Bakersfield. I'm supposed to be doing the strip club. And he comes to my camper and he gives me sides. He wrote a scene and he gives it to me and he goes, this is what we're going to shoot today. And I said, okay. And I read it. And it's the scene where the guy tells me to take off my fucking hat, right? So he wrote a scene to make me get rid of the hat.
What an asshole.
Yeah, you know. He set me up, man. He let me get comfortable. He knew I wanted it. He knew it was my kind of, it was my strength, right? I had the hat, you know, and then he made me take it off because then I didn't have a choice because it was in the script.
Now it's in the script.
Like, oh shit! Now I can't say no now, right?
He probably toiled. How could I get him to take that fucking hat off for a while before he realized I'll just put it in the script?
Yeah, that's what he did. That's a genius, okay?
That really is.
But the thing is when I took it off, I don't think he really fully anticipated the emotional empathy that I was going to get. Because you really kind of were like, oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
Bud, take off his hat. You know?
You should have had a smaller hat underneath.
Bud was bummed out. Little tiny one. Like those Clinton things. Every time you take one off, there's another one underneath.
Yeah,
Till finally there's like this fucking thing.
Tiny little
Is this one
derby.
okay? What about this one? Oh, man.
Who knew Kill Bill was all about the hat?
Yeah.
It was kind of,
Everyone was
you know?
obsessed with the hat.
It was
I
a
had to-
sympathetic scene for you
I
there.
became the moral center of the film.
Right.
Yeah.
Writes a scene just so you get rid of it.
Yeah, it was, I mean, God, what a thing to do, right?
Did she not make eye contact with you because of the way you guys were kind of playing? You know, she was kind of supposed to not like you.
Yeah.
I think,
a little.
well, I mean, everybody, all actors have their own way of getting to this psychological place they need to be, and I think maybe she was just trying to feel me out and just trying to figure out what I was going to do, or let's face it, I mean, I had to do some pretty bad things with her, and some pretty mean things, and I think she was just trying to find her way around me, or trying to figure out what I was doing, or maybe she was trying to throw me off. I don't know, but the first thing we did was the thing in the graveyard, and when I first went to the set, her stunt double was in the back of the truck, all tied up with belts and stuff, and I went, oh God, you know, I'm going to play this whole thing with a stunt double. But then after we did the blocking, and then I came to shoot, my God, there she was, and she started looking at me then, and I realized it was just her way of preparing. But she ended up being great, and I love our stuff together. I blew the whole front of the camera off with that shotgun, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, did you see that? See, watch when she comes in.
The whole front of the camera?
Yeah, I blew the whole lens off the camera. Bam. See
Wow.
that? Whoa. I had it right up against the lens, and but the shells were rock salt. And when I did a test fire outside with it, and it was just like a big cloud of dust come out, and so they were thinking that it wasn't going to really hurt the camera. And they kept telling me to do it over here and over here and over there. And Quentin said, no, I want you to point it right in the lens. And I said, yeah, I think so too. So he loaded me up, and it should have had some plexi in front of it or something, but it was so close. I think they were worried about a reflection. But when I fired that thing, it blew the whole front of it.
Wow.
Like a $50,000 Panavision. Just blew out. Yeah.
Tell him, Fred.
The Virus. Sirius-XM. This is the Opie and Anthony Show.